And we are back. Thank you all so much for your patience. Hi, hey, listen, I'm the little pixie that's going to help guide Thorial without doing much guidance. He's probably going to be a lot better understanding of what he's doing than I am anyways. But I am here to let everybody know that thanks to a $100 donation from Wary, which reads, please put this towards the robot apocalypse. The robot apocalypse has been obtained. And that means that we are going to be playing on the Robot Apocalypse difficulty, which I thought was going to be something different. I forgot that that is a difficulty feature. Don't forget, though, there are plenty of other donations if people would like to help out, support a good cause. We're $100 away from beating our last year's cap. So let's see all that money going. Let's see it all rolling. Thorial, take it away.
Alrighty, good afternoon everybody. How are y'all doing here? So yeah, we're gonna be playing some Unsighted, which for the uninitiated it's kind of a top-down, like, isometric Metroidvania that came out in 2021. It's developed by an indie studio from, I think they're Brazilian, but anyhow, this is a lot of fun. The game is really good with a very beautiful story, so we're gonna go ahead and actually try and check one thing quickly. I should have the speedrun clock on. Yeah, and the meteor dust radar off. Perfect. Just a couple things. It skips a little cutscene. It's not anything huge. Alrighty. On that note, though, in 3, 2, 1, go. So I'm gonna go. Okay. Oh, I guess because I'm playing on this Robot Apocalypse difficulty, Alright, that's different. Not a large concern, just a little difference here in the beginning that I did not remember. Alright, so you're actually supposed to go and get a sword and get a password for this door. I'm not going to go and do either of those for a couple of reasons. For one, not getting the sword ensures that I get an axe here, which, you know, big surprise, heavy axe hit harder. So it's a quick little rundown of the category that I'm running. This is a reverse boss order. So this is not going to be a traditional speedrun of this game. I am, of course, doing this backwards. Because I found that would be fun to do. Okay. That's really all there was to it. I decided, you know, it'd be fun. Let's do this in the first boss order because it's actually pretty simple to do that. There is a trick here to get around this faster, but because of the route that I'm doing, I want to hold on to a little extra money. And yeah, I'm taking that hit. What do I got here? So, this password, this little blockade is always random. Anytime you come here, it's always going to be a different setup. There is one later in the game that is always the same and allows us to skip the entire aquarium section. I died, yep. So as you can see, there's a little stamina bar above my head. And that's kind of, that determines what actions I can do. That's between running, jumping, attacking, blocking, and if that runs out, I can't do those. Also, this spider bot here, me trying to get these high jump boots early, that is not intended. This is, as a matter of fact, if you do this while you're playing the game yourself and haven't done this already, you'll get an achievement called Sequence Breaker, because the devs fully knew that you could go and get to the high jump boots early, and they just decided they weren't going to stop you. Oh, and now it's right, left, left. Oh, it's just already still turned off. I don't think I've ever actually died to this boss. Of course, it would happen during a marathon. Come on, you. Now, once we actually pick up all the stuff off of this boss, I'm just gonna do a cheeky little save and quit here, because it is a lot faster than rounding all the way back to the save point that I was at earlier. Now, normally you're supposed to actually have an item to break through those, but it turns out if you just do a wall jump off of them and swing backwards in midair, you can just jump right over all those blocks. There's a few sections where you can use that and get out of bounds and skip a whole lot of stuff, and that's exactly what we're doing here. These shadow creatures, they're supposed to be an intentional death. Oh, come on. The game doesn't really teach you about the parry mechanic until after you've already died to these shadow creatures. So there is a scene where one character that you're going to meet here in a second, Vanna, is basically stunned to see that you actually are still alive after defeating those. But we're just going to not watch those cutscenes because that's slowing. Why do the slow thing? So, along with being able to craft in this game doesn't really limit you with what you can craft, including the fact that you can craft nature progression items, such as the hook shot, and this. You can just decide to craft these and not play half the game. Now there is, under normal circumstances, what you'd get with that. So the game has two New Game Plus kind of modes. There's New Game Plus, which is you just keep the stuff that you had beforehand, and then there's New Game Extra. New Game Extra is you don't have any of the stuff from beforehand, but you have blueprints for all of the crafting recipes. The thing is that you do not need the blueprints for any recipe to craft the recipe if you know what order they're supposed to go in. You can craft it your own. Also, I do appreciate the addition of Robot Apocalypse into this run, because during practice, I was frequently getting to the point with the final boss that I was defeating it before the really cool music started to kick in, and I kind of want to be able to talk about that music because it's really, really good. So we're only going to bother grabbing 3 meteor dust. In the story mode, meteor dust increases the amount of time any of the automatons have left by 24 hours apiece, which is quite useful, especially because the first time you'll likely be at the point where you're kind of in danger of running out. But in this case, the reason why I'm doing it is entirely for the fact that I get that Parry Master chip, and that increases how much damage I do with any of my attacks after I parry an enemy. Now, here's where one of the big differences between myself and any%. Because any% will go and grab an item known as the risk chip after fighting the first boss. The problem is, for me, the first boss is the last boss. So that's not really feasible, because I kind of want that for the last couple of bosses, and I wouldn't get that normally. So instead, I'm going to go out of my way here and grab a chip that has a similar but slightly different effect, being that the risk chip makes it so that you do 20% damage when you're in critical health. This one makes it so that I do 20% more damage at full health. I'm going to activate that terminal while I'm in the neighborhood for a little shortcut later.
If we've got a moment, I could talk about some of our donations or some things going on.
Indeed we do.
Alright, I would be more than happy to let everybody know, remind you all that Slurpathon is raising money for Extra Life, which raises funds for the Children's Miracle Network hospitals. Proceeds go to the Alberta Children's Hospital Foundation. Extra Life brings together thousands of gamers around the world to play games in support of their local Children's Miracle Network hospital. Since its inception in 2008, Extra Life has raised over $100 million for sick and injured kids. And during that, all those funds raised go, and all the funds raised here specifically, go to the Alberta Children's Hospital as unrestricted funds. This means the hospital decides where and how to spend the money to ensure the dollars raised to make the biggest impact possible. Do you still need me to fill in a little bit more, or?
No, I could fill in for a bit here. So, here, my main strat is going after this boss. Well, not really boss, but it's one of these shadow creatures. But as you notice, this thing has a shiny axe hanging out of its skull. The axe actually belongs to Alma's girlfriend, Raquel, who we know is missing and is in the Meteor Tower that we kind of saw earlier on. So, for one, there is sentimental value to the big shiny axe, but for another, it is even more powerful than the one that I already have. Thus, it's really good to go out of the way and do that. Not to mention, I get a lot of the bolts, the currency in this game, off of the 2 shadow creatures that I went and bought. Along with that, actually, one of the things that's not mentioned about in this game until later on, because you're not supposed to fight those shadow creatures until later on, is that for every one of them you defeat, they drop a dark essence. Well, that makes your final weapon significantly more powerful. Not enough to really route those into a speed run, but for a casual run, yeah, it's worth getting that taken care of for sure, because it'll make your life a lot easier for the final boss and the whole final section. Anyway, we're now in the factory. This place is normally the last area that you could go into, but because I like to play around, it's going to be the first one I'm going into. Alright. And now we're going to get to see a couple of the glitches in this game. I finally get to show off telehooks and weird hooks, and this is the main part of this round. This makes everything a lot quicker. I have no idea how I got there. There we go. Unfortunately, this is not a game where you can just walk through the fire at the cost of taking damage. It's just blocked off. However, by doing a telehook, which it allows you to essentially, actually, I'm not entirely sure what it does, but it clips your hook shot out of bounds so that when you spin attack to it, you can get through areas that you're not supposed to be able to. That's really the best explanation even I know of it at this point, and I'm like trying to get a good description. I wish I had like more in-depth knowledge of that as I did with the grapple clips from Axiom Verge 1, but unfortunately I don't. And speaking of weird grapple hook shenanigans, we're going to be utilizing this trick here known as the weird shot. And what the weird shot does is it allows me to, no, I didn't mean to step on that. It allows me to clip my hook shot through a wall in a slightly different utilization. Nope, I need to get a little further down. There we go. In doing this, what you're normally supposed to be doing here is going through the section, getting arms upgrades for this mech unit. So you can push some blocks, so you can come in here to get the rocket upgrades, so that you can break the way to the next boss. But the problem with that is, well, it's slow. And we don't want to do it slowly, we want to do it quickly. As such, we're just going to go do that, skip through that wall, and grab the rockets from this Haley unit early, and just go fight the boss. enter Nova, our first boss, which is normally the 5th one, of course. And like any good boss that you fight while wearing a ride armor, he has a giant shield of his own, so you have to break that before you can actually fight the thing. Everybody remembers Vanishing Dunkaroo from Mega Man X7. Same concept, just, you know, not as awful and less screeching dialogue. That's our first boss down. I'm gonna save those stamina and attack cogs for the next boss. I don't want to waste them in the time in between. So all these little cutscenes here, you'll get flashbacks of Alma's memory, mostly her time with Raquel. Which is exactly why you'll see me making choice at the end of this game. That might be a little bit slower, but has to be done. Unlike saving the animals, it's only like a 2-second loss, if that, whereas you're also a monster if you choose not to. I will save the robots. Alright, and just like that, we're already heading up towards our second boss. It is... oh, incidentally significantly quicker to route from where the factory is right up to the Eagle Automaton from here, and just keep going. There's no reason to do basically 90% of the highway. Actually, if that. That's a problem. Not a huge one. Alright. I'm gonna have to just go out of the way here.
The music in this game is so soothing that I just forget what I'm even doing. I'll just zone out just listening to this music sometimes.
Oh yeah, this game has phenomenal music, that's for sure.
I've actually I've set some of this music up so like I can actually just that Blossom theme, the one for the garden area. I've actually listened to that hours on end on repeat.
Oh yeah.
It's just so chill.
And then on the complete opposite end of that spectrum is the final boss music when that actually starts to kick in. That is just really fast-paced and really enjoyable.
Indeed.
There we go. Finally, the boss is down. That thing is really unfortunate when you get kind of off your cycle on it.
Nicely done. I'm sure you've pointed out this earlier before, but for a lot of people being like, how are you supposed to go through this? You can't even heal. That is actually an item that you could pick up right at the start, but because it saves time, and obviously the best strategy is when you're speedrunning is to not get hit. Most speedrunners tend to opt to skip it because the game absolutely lets you.
Yeah. But also on Robot Apocalypse difficulty, if I remember correctly, it's just not there to begin with.
Oh, dang, really?
Yeah, this game's a little... Even the defense cogs, which you saw me using at the beginning of that fight with the Eagle Automaton or the Carrier Automaton there, they do not block all damage, they just block one damage that an enemy would do. So, yeah, if you get off your rhythm, an enemy can be really frustrating like that.
Yeah, this is a game that very heavily demands good timing on those parries to really make it through alive, especially on this difficulty.
Yeah.
Oh, it's her! I love her! She's one of my favorites! She's so pretty!
Yeah. She's one of the very few NPCs we'll even be bothering to talk to, of course, because of the way this route works.
Well, I'm very glad that she gets to be one of the few, because, yeah, she's adorable. She's a little bean. I would give her head pets.
Yeah. I mean, this game is full of adorable characters and just wonderful, wonderful story. Yeah, I'm very fond of this game.
Yeah, like, you can run around hunting for dogs in this game. It's so adorable. Just,
Yeah.
There's this little dog shelter in the village.
I might have made a mistake here.
So where are we now?
We're going through the aquarium, which we don't really have to go through because, as I did mention this at the start of the stream, to fight the boss that holds the high jump boots, you actually need to figure out the code that's there, because it does change every time. That code does not. It's always 132564. So you can just come through here, skip the entirety of the museum, and come and say hi to this next boss. There might be another death in store for me here. Stamina again. Alright, so we're just gonna go ahead and forget that happened because I definitely made a mistake earlier. First things first. I need to...
Normally, to get a lot of these recipes, you would have to find blueprints that are scattered all across the world map, and they would tell you how to make them, but as we saw earlier, if you just know the recipe, you just make it, and then all of a sudden, almost like, oh, it's that recipe!
Yep. Okay. I'll have to come back here for those later. Yeah, you can just make the recipes with just out of knowledge, and Alma's just like, oh, apparently this is how you do this, cool. I have no idea why she got 4 iron bars and 2 electrical coils and thought to assemble them like this spinner, but apparently...
She's a very creative lady robot.
Yeah.
What's your favorite location in this game?
Oh, I am fond of everything in this game, honestly. Specific favorite location... Probably would actually have to go with the highway, even though you don't really see any of it in the speedrun. The highway would probably be my favorite location.
Ooh, really? I personally like. I mean, I'm a boring person. I like the garden. I like the basic field area. The music's nice. It's just a welcoming environment. A lot of the places, either that or urban ruins. Urban ruins is so well designed.
Yeah. Oh, you're rude. Yeah, that. Alright. This is a game that I definitely practiced the most for the speedrun too, and I'm absolutely having the worst time.
That's this difficulty.
Oh, yeah.
We reap what we sow.
Oh,
Or
yeah.
we're reaping what the donations have sowed, and they have reaped us in apocalyptic difficulty, and you're seeing exactly why it's called Robo Apocalypse. This is absolutely brutal.
Yeah, it's very rough.
Speaking of incentives, we are also we would be talking about Metroid Fusion incentives, but those were met like a long time ago apparently. So we got to talk about Crypt of the Necro Dancer, which has about $100 left needed to get in to unlock double time mode. And in regards to Pokemon Puzzle League, there is a bid war between Pikachu, Bulbasaur, and Squirtle. I know the last runner wanted Bulbasaur in. We all love a good Bulbasaur. I could definitely see Pikachu and Squirtle being interested too. And there's also a $100 incentive to get the swag chain bonus in Puzzle League.
Nice. I'm definitely in for Bulbasaur. Bulbasaur is the best.
You silly friend.
Come on, you might as well kick me again at this point. Are you kidding me?
She just decided to kick you at the wrong moment.
Yeah, right when I was out of stamina. Just the absolute worst time. Yeah, this is always the boss that I had the most difficulty with in practice too, so I'm not entirely surprised that this is where I'm kind of in the choke point.
Yeah, I can definitely understand why. It doesn't help that she's the one with the ice floor, and we all know how everybody feels about ice.
Yeah.
What's your history with this game? How long have you been running it? And what are your thoughts about it in general?
I've been running it since about 3 months ago when Whispers of Slurpathon started coming through my DMs. And I'm like, you know what? I did want to speedrun this game at some point. Now seems like a perfect time to go and learn a category. And I'm like, oh, like you can absolutely do bosses in reverse order in this game, and just nobody does it. Well, why not? That sounds like it could be fun. And yeah, that's where we are with this. Aside from that, my history with this game, I picked it up around the year it came out. I heard I noticed a few articles on social media and stuff talking about this game and comparing it, like saying how it was the greatest Metroidvania of the year, and I'm like, alright, that's a bold claim on a year where Axiom Verge 2 and Metroid Dread came out, but I'll check it out anyways. It's like, alright, I love this game. Is it the best Metroidvania? No. Does it have a great story to it and really fun gameplay? Yes. So, that's why I kind of stuck around with it.
Yeah, it's definitely up there for me in regards to games that I absolutely adore. I'll be quiet now because we're on that last bit.
Yeah. She's being very rude again.
Hey, let's go!
I knew at the end that she was trying to bait me in for an attack just so she could punt me right afterwards when I had no stamina, so it's like, no, not falling for that one again, thank you.
I can't remember which one was the hardest for me, at least out of the main bosses. I guess it probably would be her for me as well. All the others are pretty straightforward, and it's just... Her movements are fast, she's got a lot of area of effects, and she'll just jump up and crush you, and that's not... That, if I remember correctly, you cannot parry her landings.
No, you cannot.
One of the few things in this game you can't.
Can I...
You also can't parry the water without perfect timing.
Yeah. You can parry the water, you just have to be timed perfectly to do those skips. It is...
super satisfying when you can get that timing down.
Alright, thankfully I got out of that. There is a terminal between me and the next boss, which I am going to use to just heal up and make sure I have a closer save in case things go sideways again. Oops.
Now we get to enjoy some guardrail grinding.
Yeah. Oh no. I'm gonna utilize those couple extra chip slots in a sec once I get back to your village, but I definitely need to remember to hold on to a few bolts, because I'm gonna need them to do a little thing here soon. There we go. And by doing a telehook here, I just yet again skip a whole section.
Something I really like about how the enemies attack in this game is just the fact that, like, the way they kind of time and space themselves out when there's a group of them around you, because normally a game like this, it would be a nightmare to face off against more than one enemy, because they'd all just swarm you and smother you and you'd be dead.
Yeah.
But because of the way they pace themselves, it's really easy to just, like, you get that time. You get, oh, they're coming in, oh, they're coming in, they're coming in. And it allows you to really, like, properly clear things up in a way that you would not be able to otherwise.
Yeah. There's a little bit more leniency here with some of the enemies. It's actually really appreciated.
Otherwise, this really would be an apocalyptic mode.
Yeah. Yeah, the amount of enemies that are already here in this mode, plus how they do attack in comparison to what you'd be used to in the normal mode, it is a significant boost and upgrade, but it could be a lot worse. Spot that, yep.
Nice.
There we go. I'm going to
I both love and despise these little maze segments. Like, it's a really cool part, but then this happens.
I've done these a lot of times too, and I cannot remember exactly what to do entirely every time either. It is...
Every single one's just that little bit different, but they all look the same, so it's so easy to get lost and confused on what you're wanting.
Yeah. Enough. I'll make it work. Now we're definitely going to an area more people will be familiar with, because we're just going to the starting area, you know, at the end of the game.
Reminds me of my journey in Breath of the Wild. I did not go to Kakariko Village until after I had beaten the game. Actually, no, I did it before I went and beat the game. And what's her name? The old lady or whatever. She was like, alright, you need to go do all this stuff. And then she just stops and is like, oh, you already did it. Cool. Anyways. And that's kind of what this feels like.
Yep. Like, oh yeah, you need to go do all this. Yeah. Kinda did it in reverse, just because. Oh.
I take it there's enemies that spawn on that platform?
Correct. And they lock you in too, so you don't really want to fight them. they just decide that they're going to come at you right when you spawn on there.
And this is where the fire weapon comes in really handy, because there's a whole puzzle to bring fire over to this spot, but if you've just got fire weapon...
Yeah. Which, if you defeat the shadow creatures right at the start of the game, you get one for free.
I love that guy who was just jumping over to trying so hard to hit you while you had cutscene invulnerability.
Yeah. At least the enemies don't get cutscene invulnerability, thankfully. The hands are still trying to attack, but they're already defeated. Go away.
It was a last-ditch effort out of revenge.
Yeah.
But it didn't work out.
Not this time around, that's for sure.
But yeah, that's the 4th boss. Already done.
5th.
5th.
Yeah.
Great.
Now, before we head to the end game, there's actually a 6th boss that we're going to do. And this is not for... Why am I getting so confused here? Brain, please work for me for 5 seconds. just 5 seconds, that's all I'm asking. Alright. So, this is not even from a donation incentive, this next boss that I'm going to face. It's actually, honestly, a speedrun strat, which is weird to me. And when I was looking at this, like, starting this category, and kind of looking up videos for references when I could do the routing for reverse boss order, I was wondering how they got through the end game so fast, because they'd be, you know, a little bit faster than me going towards the end game, but then have a ridiculously fast end game. And I figured it out the hard way that they actually go and fight an extra boss. Now, this would be normally used in going after a special ending, but it is a huge time save, and that's why we're doing it.
We have a donation from Curly W, who donated $55. Just letting Curly know that we do have a whole bunch of incentives. You could help towards the Crypt of the Necrodancer double time mode. You could help with the swag chain showcase, or you could put that money towards a Pokemon and Pokemon puzzle, like if you like. Just let us know in some way where you'd like to put that money towards, and we'd be more than happy to have it help out in our incentives. Oh, are we doing this boss?
Yep.
Oh, I love this boss.
Yeah, we're doing this boss here because the card key that you get from this fight incidentally saves so much time, and the change to the escape sequence saves so much time that it's actually a lot more useful to just come here and start something with her, which is probably the worst idea ever.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Well, fortunately you're buff enough that they're not really a threat.
Nope.
I also have a $50 donation coming in from Kalobi. Putting this towards the Necro Dancer double time incentive. Always love seeing Necro Dancer at marathons.
Nice. Yeah, Necro Dancer's a lot of fun.
It's so good. I can't wrap my brain around it, but it's so fun.
Oh no, neither can I. Alright, so we're just gonna do a telehook to get into there. Sorry, Fairy, not now. No. No, game, please. There we go. Let's clip myself back into bounds, and I'm gonna take out this shadow creature because it is, as I mentioned, a little bit of extra damage to your corrupted weapon. Oh. I didn't need to take a tower death. I'm falling apart.
Yeah, the tower isn't that safe or easy of a location either. It can get really brutal in there.
Yeah, a lot of these enemies, that's why I'm actually really glad that when I was initially figuring out this route and learned these telehooks, I'm like, oh, that makes my life so much easier because you get to skip the first couple of encounters. There is another telehook to skip this last encounter. I've just not figured out how to do it.
Fair enough. I love the atmosphere in this area. It's so you can just tell that something has happened here.
Oh yeah.
Whatever happened, it's none of our business. We're speedrunners, but
Yeah. There, that's how that should have looked.
much cleaner, very effective. Very good.
I have to quickly run back to terminal here so I can grab some quick stuff. To be fair, I did intend this to be more of a showcase than a speedrun, especially at this difficulty.
We get to appreciate her just a little bit longer.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm working with, because... what just happened here? Okay.
Are you trying to play other games in the middle of your run?
No, something just decided that it was going to change on me. It was very strange.
Uh-huh. I know you. I've seen you looking over at other games, being like, man, I wish I could be playing those while playing Unsighted. Oh, hey, it's the girlfriend.
Yeah. It's also kind of the enemy.
She's become evil. And so now there's a bit of a gauntlet once again to take on a bunch of these bosses.
I'm just gonna have to take that hit on her. Oh.
Perfect.
I may actually need to get a health vial at some point, because this is actually getting to the point where I'm yeah, I have no heals at all, and yeah, I might be in trouble.
Something would help.
Yeah. On the bright side, if I need to go after getting health vials, I know a good way to do it. If that's even an option in this one.
I mean, yeah, if you couldn't get the first health vial, I don't know. Would you be able to get something from here? I suppose so, because the building still exists.
Yeah, she's still here, so one would only hope. Craft a permanent syringe. Okay, so if I need that, I just need to get some of those by disposable. How much? 600. Okay. Well, I'll just have to get some money. That's fine. I can do that quickly enough.
You just gotta beat up some big, many-eyed monsters, and you'll get some good money off of them.
Yep. You know what? Since I know that there's one of these here too, I'm gonna grab one.
That is I believe that can be used to make a permanent syringe, yeah?
Yeah, I need 3 of them though.
Which is a really interesting balance or trade-off for a lot of people during their more casual runs, where they could be considering those are essential for keeping your life or extending the life of the other robots that are in the area. Or you can use it to make syringes to help you in battle, which might speed things up.
Yeah. On that note, I think I'm just gonna have to work with what I've got and hope for the best.
You got this, I believe in you. Chat, give Thorial your energy. He needs every ounce of cheering and energy to be able to power through this, because this seems just brutal.
I have made choices.
Choices have been made. Consequences must be accepted.
Yeah. I love just how eerie the music is this fight too.
Yeah, it's clearly not a victorious, here we go, we're saving the day. It's I don't want to do this.
No, it's
very unsettling things are happening here.
Something is very wrong with whatever's been going on here.
Gee, I sure wish we had some kind of plot that we could follow to know what was going on.
Yeah. Okay, enough of you guys.
we go.
Well,
there's just too many enemies.
Yep, there are. Alright, how far over are we? Because I know I'm over.
We're over by about 5 minutes.
Alright. If I need to get cut at some point, somebody just yell at me. Alright. I'm gonna give this a couple more attempts here. I'm not sure when we're just gonna call this, because if I don't make it, yeah.
Yeah. We don't want to be stuck here all day, but we do want to see you win.
Oh, I'd love to actually get the win here. Nova's wrecking me there too.
Yeah, he's just spawning and immediately going for a killing swing.
Yeah.
Ziggy Pigster with a $55 US donation saying, "Good luck, Thorial!"
Thank you, Ziggy. Being sorry and stop killing me?
She's only allowed to say words. She's not allowed to, like, you know, stop doing that.
that's phase 1 done. Or I guess 1 and 2.
Picture also just letting you know that if you'd like to put that money towards an incentive, to just let us know.
Ooh, what do we have open? Oh, actually, put it towards Bulbasaur.
Put it for Bulbasaur?
Yeah.
Alright, we'll put it for Bulbasaur.
Oh, that's not good. Yeah. Well, I am unfortunately out of backup health and everything too at this point, as well as attack, so I'd have to go and refarm a lot of stuff.
Do we want to do one more try? Do you want to call it?
I can try and quickly farm up some stuff to give it another shot. That's, there we go, just take the money here. There we go. Just teleport from here to... That'll work.
There's one just south of one of the northern terminals.
yeah. I'm gonna quickly run into this one that's over here, because it's not far out of the way. Because I figure with at least a few attack and mostly just a few attack bonuses, I might be able to get this, but we'll give it a shot anyhow. Oh, I can't even go out that way.
Never mind, I guess.
Yeah, because we kind of came into the museum from the other end. There's one just up here. Quickly get some more attack cogs, a couple more syringes, and we'll see what happens. If I win, I win. If I don't, I don't. And at this point, that's kind of just gonna have to be how it ends. For better or worse. I'm so used to going up that way. I don't have any meteor dust. A disposable syringe, thank you. Mulligan? Alright, let's make this the last attempt. I completely forgot where I was, what I was doing for a second there.
A real last attempt.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, we're gonna have to call it there, unfortunately.
A valiant battle, but ultimately, the world falls. GG's.
Thank you. It was a very good attempt, but unfortunately, just couldn't pull through there at the end.
It is life, unfortunately. We are going to quickly get ready for the next game. Thank you all so much for watching. Stay tuned. Up next is Metroid Fusion.